And talking about the ceasefire, the tweet was put out that the PM, the Pakistani PM, somehow brokered this deal, was the chief negotiator in the middle, and it's self-evident from that tweet that that tweet was not his. It was the Trump administration. That person doesn't talk like that, and of course we'll get into that a little bit later. But I'd make it clear that that tweet actually came from the Trump administration, and on that, again, more on that later. So let's get to what Dave had to say about it. Let's take a look.
We in the world. Well, it appears that World War III has been averted and that there is a ceasefire in place, although it is quite shaky, and we will address that too. But before we get into any of that, I want to read a quote from The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump. And I sort of referenced this yesterday, but I'd like to read you the full quote. That really got me going. I said to the guy, you listen to me. If you do foreclose, I'll personally bring a lawsuit for murder against you and your bank on the grounds that you harassed Mrs. Hill's husband to his death. All of a sudden, the bank officer sounded very nervous and said he'd get right back to me. Sometimes it pays to be a little wild. Donald Trump, The Art of the Deal. So that right there, as I referenced yesterday, is basically why, even in these last couple days.
So what you saw was a reading of a quote from one of Trump's books, Art of the Deal or some crap like that, right? But anyways, really, are we really going to approach diplomacy, especially during wartime, like this, like that quote says? This might work. His approach might work in a one-on-one negotiating. I don't even know who talks like that, even in a one-on-one business negotiating, but maybe it works in a one-on-one business situation, one-on-one negotiating type tactic thing. But on the world stage, especially when it's so many sensitive topics, especially during wartime, I mean, these things have lasting and real consequences, right? The closing of Strait of Hormuz, for God's sakes, uh, our service members died in the U.S. Between 13 and 15 confirmed. Go and explain to their parents that this is the art of the deal. Haven't you read the book yet? Get out of here, right? I mean, come on, Dave. Whatever, right? Like, this is so naive and so childish. To add to that, we soured our relationship with other NATO countries, even some of our oldest allies. They put their hands up and said, "You know what? This is your war. You started it. Didn't consult us on this. Didn't even ask us what it's about." So no, you're on this. We've soured the relationship. You've seen how President Trump has been acting, and the statements that have been coming out from both sides, right? Taken from France, taken from England, taken from Germany. Look at what all is going on. Again, you're going to say art of the deal, Dave? That's a weak point.
And it is over. So again, this is where Trump deserves, because of his track record, not blind faith, he deserves our trust here. Here's a little bit more from Breaking 911. According to the New York Times, Iran has accepted the ceasefire announced by President Trump, reportedly with approval from the new supreme leader, Ayatollah Mojtaba Khomeini. New York Times, Iran accepted Pakistan's 2-week ceasefire proposal following frantic diplomatic efforts by Pakistan and last-minute intervention by China, a key ally, asking Iran to show flexibility, diffuse tensions, and amid growing concerns about the economic devastation from damages to critical infrastructure, according to 3 Iranian officials. They said the ceasefire was approved by the new supreme leader, Ayatollah Mojtaba Khomeini. So now, first off, on the Khomeini part, it's a little unclear if what level this guy is functioning at. It sounds like he's in a hospital and may have brain damage. Like, who knows, like, who's fully in charge on that? Okay, so we'll find a bit more on that. The piece that I find is interesting here is that China jumped in at the last second. So as Trump says these crazy freaking things, a civilization is going to die, et cetera, China is suddenly going, boy, 80% of the oil that Iran sends out goes to us. And if Trump blows up this whole freaking place, we
Okay, here he went on to rant about how China jumped in at the last minute and pressured Iran. Really? Iran and China are allies. China and Russia are allies, but China jumped in to pressure Iran. So somehow China is on US's side when it's an open policy for the US that China is their enemy. Now Rubin is making a point that they're doing that because they're scared of oil. But the US just lifted all sanctions from Russian oil, and they have a direct pipeline between Russia and China. Hello? So I don't think it had something to do with that. But if you look deeper into it, right, like I mentioned, China, Russia, and Iran are all allies. China and Pakistan are allies. Pakistan is indebted to China. The mediations are happening in Pakistan. China comes in at the last minute, and the 10 points that Iran had put out are now negotiable from our side. So, what do you think really happened? Did China pressure Iran, or did China come to the table and tell US, hey, listen, it's about time, the world is getting destroyed, prices are going up, you need an off ramp, you, US, are under pressure, you, Trump, are under pressure, so let me try and offer you or get you that off ramp. And all of a sudden, blowing up a civilization, we're going to take care, annihilate, or whatever he said, take care of the whole civilization. Is going to be nothing there. We're not going to be able to come back from it. Great, great big bombs. We're going to take care of it. All gone. Everything wrapped up. He said, we're agreeing to this ceasefire. But if it was a real ceasefire, Israel would have been brought in. Israel would have been consulted. Israel would be part of the ceasefire. But that has not happened yet, has it? To add to that, right, who do you think has been replenishing Iran's arms and ammunition? It's been China and Russia the whole time. Who do you think they're getting their satellite imagery from, the satellite intelligence, the pinpoint targeting information from? It's the satellites from Russia and again China. China, China. So again, if you put two and two together, I don't think China pressured Iran. I think China offered a smooth off ramp to the Trump administration. Anyways, let's move on. I want to come back to Pakistan because Pakistan is being lauded. We're actually showing off or praising Pakistan on their role in these peace negotiations. Um, really, a state like Pakistan. I mean, we had to go there, didn't we? Just one question: where was Osama bin Laden found? After doing what he did to September 11th, and we were going around destroying the world, where was he eventually found? Let me remind you, Abbottabad, Pakistan. This is a country that literally has training school, not figuratively. This is a training hub for terrorists. Where do you think these terrorists were being trained that actually turned into the Mujahideens that went into Afghanistan to fight against the Soviets? Who do you think was training them? It was the Pakistani military and their intelligence called ISI. September 11th, 2001, Indian intelligence officials estimated over 120 jihadi camps were operating, majorly in Pakistan and Afghanistan combined. And we flaunt Pakistan.